Good afternoon, and welcome to the Juvenile Welfare Board's 75th Anniversary Award Luncheon, marking a milestone of our nation's first independent board enacted to guard the rights and needs of children. My name is Mike McCurach, and I have the privilege of serving as the JWB Board Chairman and member of the host committee for today's event. My heart is full as I look across the room, and there are so many of you who have had a hand in shaping the lives of our most precious resources, our children. We all share a common vision, and that is over 7 decades in the making and still going strong. That all children will have the equitable opportunity to fulfill their potential and to achieve meaningful and purposeful lives. Today we are here to recognize and celebrate you, to share a little of our history, honor our Kids First winners and their Herculean efforts during the pandemic, and unveil our first ever Dillinger McCabe Leadership Award as a special tribute to our retired public defender, Bob Dillinger, and the late state attorney, Bernie McCabe, who boldly led the board always in putting children first. Let's start by acknowledging special guests with us today. The guests, please stand or wave from your seats. Audience, please watch for the names on the screen and hold your applause to the end of each group, as we have many, many to announce. The reason we're in a packed room every year, and actually we haven't been here for 3 years, so look how amazing that this is, that after 3 years of our pandemic, we're filling the house. And all that is because of you, our amazing honorary hosts committee. First, I'd like to announce in memorial of the Honorable Bernie McCabe. His lovely wife, Denise McCabe, is with us today. Members, thank you. Members of the JWB Board, our Board Vice Chair and Honorable Patrice Moore, Circuit Court Judge. If you please just hold your applause until I get through all these, because again, we'll be here forever. The Honorable Rick Butler, Board Secretary, Pinellas Park City Council Member. Immediate past Chair, Susan Ralston. Mr. Brian Unks Jr., the Honorable Bruce Bartlett, State Attorney. The Honorable Pat Gerard, Pinellas County Commissioner. Dr. Michael Greco, soon to be retired and missed, Pinellas School Superintendent. Now that I would accept an applause for. Division Chief Jim Milliken, Beth Houghton, JWB's CEO, Colleen Flynn, Board Attorney, and the Honorable Sarah Malo, Public Defender, who was unable to be here with us today. Please, now you can applaud for all this. We also have many past JWB members served as honorary hosts and lending their names to hosting tables. Please stand or wave from your seats to be acknowledged and remember to hold your applause. Mary Wyatt Allen, former JWB Board Chair. The Honorable Bob Dillinger, retired public defender. The Honorable D. Ann Fornell, retired judge. The Honorable Raymond O. Gross, retired judge. He has a lot of grace, because if you've ever met his daughter, you know he has a lot of grace. The Honorable Calvin Harris, former County Commissioner. Martha Linderman, former JWB Board. Dr. Julie Mastry, former School Superintendent. Elise Minkoff, former JWB Board Chair. Tom Moriarty, former JWB Board Chair. The Honorable Sally Parks, former County Commissioner. The Honorable Frank Quisetta, retired judge. Angela Rasan, former JWB board member. The Honorable Karen Seal, Pinellas County Commissioner. Dr. Jim Sewell, former JWB board chair. And the Honorable Irene Sullivan, retired judge. We also have family members of past board members with us, the late Dr. Frank Diamond and former County Commissioner Barbara Sheen Todd. In our crowd, we have numerous elected officials and dignitaries. Please stand or wave to be acknowledged as you are acknowledged, and our audience, please look at the overhead screens for a list of the distinguished guests. Remember, please hold your applause until the end. Members of our Pinellas County Legislative Delegation. First, our state senators, the Honorable Darrell Rasan, former Senator, the Honorable Jack Latvala, our state representatives, Honorable Ben Diamond, the Honorable Nick DeSiglia, the Honorable Chris Latvala, and former Representative, the Honorable Kim Burkfield. Pinellas County Commissioners, the Honorable Charlie Justice, Chair, the Honorable Janet Long, Vice Chair, the Honorable Dave Eggerts, the Honorable Renee Flowers, and former Commissioner, the Honorable Neil Brookfield. 6 Judicial Court, Circuit Court Judges, the Honorable Anthony Rondolino, Chief Judge, the Honorable Steve Berlin, the Honorable Phil Maddy, the Honorable Kim Todd, the Honorable Laura Lee Weston, and retired Judge, the Honorable Tommy Minkoff. Mayors and City Council members, the Honorable Sandra Bradbury, Mayor of Pinellas Park, the Honorable Deborah Fig Sanders, St. Pete City Council, the Honorable Eric Gerard, Largo City Commission, the Honorable Jamie Robinson, Largo City Commission, the Honorable Patty Reed, Pinellas Park City Council, the Honorable Keith V. Sabile, Pinellas Park City Council, the Honorable Susie Sofer, Bel Air Bluffs Commission, the Honorable Bob Gutierrez, Pinellas County Sheriff, and former Sheriff, the Honorable Jim Coates, and our Chiefs of Police, Chief John Barkley, Treasure Island Police, Chief Michael Hallworth, Pinellas Park Police, Chief David Hendry, USF St. Pete Campus, Chief Anthony Holloway, St. Petersburg Police, Chief Daniel Slaughter, Clearwater Police, Chief Luke Williams, Pinellas County Schools, plus several other law enforcement officials are with us today. Lealman Special Fire District officials, the Honorary Kathleen Litton, and Chief David Smay, and our Pinellas County School Board members, the Honorable Lisa Kane, the Honorable Dr. Nicole Carr, the Honorable Carol Cook, the Honorable Caprice Edmonds, and the Honorable Laura Hines. Please give them all a round of applause. Others joining us today include current and past winners of the Kids First Awards and members of the Kids First Selection Committee. Please raise your hands or stand and let's give them applause. Family members and past recipients of the H. Brown Spence Education Award, please stand or raise your hand and let's give them an applause. And family members and representatives from our founders, you'll hear more about their contribution later in this program. Celebrating with us are JWB's funding agencies, many of who have sponsored tables. Their leadership and staff do the important work for families each and every day. I'd also like to recognize the JWB executive leadership team and staff, who we couldn't do this without, and members of the JWB's North, Mid, and South County Community Councils. Please give them a round of applause. Before I turn this over to our CEO, let's take a moment to reflect on the life and contributions of Pastor Martin Rainey, who passed away earlier this month. Pastor Rainey was a servant leader, an educator, a passionate champion for children, and a long-standing member of the JWB's South County Community Council, where he served since his appointment in 2004. He was committed to ensure that most vulnerable children in South Pinellas County were nurtured and supported, and he's held in a very special place in our hearts. Please join with me in a moment of silence in memoriam of Pastor Rainey. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Beth Houghton, JWB CEO. Beth?
Good afternoon. It is so wonderful to gather today in person to celebrate JWB's 75th anniversary, 75 years of putting children first. As I look out at this crowd, I was only able to talk to, 50 or 75 of you, which means there are about 550 more that I didn't get a chance to talk to. But it struck me as I heard our chair, Mike McCurrick, lifting up all of those leaders and VIPs in this room, that literally every one of you are here because you put children first in your lives, in your roles every day. And that, I think, deserves a round of applause. So in case you forgot from Mike's introduction, I am Beth Houghton, CEO of the Juvenile Welfare Board, and it's my privilege to kick off this program with a bit of JWB history. So we're going to scan 75 years in a pretty short period of time and connect that history to what we are doing today, to our current work. In 1945, a courageous group of Pinellas County leaders were the first in the nation to create a special taxing district to collectively make children a priority. At that time, few alternatives existed for children experiencing trauma or abuse or who didn't have a place to go. So it meant that sometimes children as young as 3 or 4 years old were housed in an adult jail because there just weren't other alternatives. Well, 3 early champions sought a solution by drafting legislation and creating the Juvenile Welfare Board. St. Petersburg Junior League founder Malin Holland Barton, attorney Leonard Cooperman, and juvenile judge Lincoln Bogue. Sure. And we're fortunate that we get to share this moment of appreciation for these 3 individuals with family and friends of our founders who are here with us today. So seated with Elise Minkoff are members of the St. Petersburg Junior League. Elise is a past JWB board chair, member of our host committee, and Junior League sustainer. At my table, I've had the pleasure of hosting family members of Leonard Cooperman, his daughter, Diane Hernan, and his granddaughters, Beth Martin and Tammy Sabile, the wife of Pinellas Park City Councilman Keith Sabile, and seated close by is their son, Keith Jr., Mr. Cooperman's great-grandson, who has kept the family legacy alive through his work on JWB's Mid-County Council. Other courageous trailblazers for children were members of the 1945 Pinellas Legislative Delegation. Led by Henry Baynard and Representatives S. Henry Harris, this delegation sponsored the bill and the Florida legislature passed it, subject to local referendum. Several members of our current delegation are here with us today, and they continue the important work of serving and protecting children. While our board chair, Mike McCurrick, recognized members of our delegation who are present, I want to sneak in a special thank you to Representative Chris Latvala and Senator Darrell Roussan, who made this legislative session in 2022 very special in honor of our 75th anniversary. So we were honored first with a House tribute and public reception in February, and then in March with the presentation of Senate Bill 1988, a resolution marking our milestone year. And literally just off the presses, just this morning, we received congressional recognition of our 75 years of service to children, read into the record by our Congressman, Charlie Crist. So back to our history. After legislative action, then the citizens of Pinellas County stood up as early champions. On November 5th, 1946, they voted to enact the Juvenile Welfare Board Special Act. It was the first time in U.S. history that such an entity had been created. And amazingly, these courageous citizens had the foresight to tax themselves to safeguard the future of Pinellas County children. So today we celebrate many firsts. In JWB's first year of existence, the annual budget was $75,000, which was distributed to 3 agencies serving 1,500 children. In the mid-40s, when JWB was created, gasoline was 23 cents a gallon, bread was 13 cents a loaf, and the median cost of a home in Florida was $20,000. Well, things have changed. Today, JWB's annual budget is nearly $90 million, invested in 85 programs with 55 nonprofit agencies and serving 60,000 children and families last year. And that's not all. Plus, thousands more were served through collective efforts where we worked with and supported agencies and organizations all across our community in such areas as childhood hunger, grade level reading, and preventable child death. So in 2022, rising food, fuel, and housing costs mean that more families than ever are struggling just to stay afloat. The Juvenile Welfare Board's Family Service Initiative is a unique program offering real-time support to help today's families get back on their feet. JWB also invests significantly in emergency food relief and partners with others to fill gaps to nourish children. Our first executive director, Dr. Herbert Williams, was fond of saying, "You must catch them by 6." Well, actually, now that we know a whole lot more about developing babies and children's brains, we know that those first 3 years are incredibly important. So, but Dr. Williams' get them early sort of motto speaks to JWB's longstanding commitment to prevention and early intervention and the significance of our recent strategic focus on early childhood development, the baby's first 1,000 days. And then going back to our history, in the 1950s, JWB helped create the first child care licensing board here in Pinellas County. The licensing board sets minimum standards for daycare homes and centers, and we continue to support this important work while also investing in quality early learning, school readiness, and child care workforce stabilization. Around the same era, we established the Marriage and Family Counseling Program, the first of its kind at the time. Today, our Children's Mental Health Initiative integrates behavioral health screenings and services within Pinellas pediatric practices for prevention, early detection, and intervention. And through our local community mental health organizations, we bolster funding to enhance the quality and the availability of mental health services for children and their families. So moving forward on the timeline, in 1976, JWB funded the first latchkey program in the county, not a term we continue to use. And today, We invest $23 million annually in out-of-school time programs that provide safety and supervision to youth of working parents. And these programs also enhance the academic and social skills of the kids that we serve. In 1990, JWB proposed a millage rate increase of $0.50 to implement its then 5-year strategic plan that included the creation of JWB's neighborhood family centers. The referendum passed with 70% voter approval, largely thanks to champions like Mary Wyatt Allen, past JWB board chair, who rallied the support of the St. Petersburg Junior League. And I think anyone who knows Mary Wyatt knows she'll make it happen, and it did. In the year 2000, oversight and accountability were enhanced by the addition of the 6th Judicial Circuit State Attorney and Public Defender to the Juvenile Welfare Board. Later in our program, you'll hear about the remarkable legacies of the late State Attorney Bernie McCabe and the retired Public Defender Bob Dillinger, who were first to serve in these new ex officio board roles. So many firsts, and none of them would be possible without the leadership of our governing board. So if you are a JWB board member, present or past, or a family member of a late member of our board, you probably have already been asked to stand up, but if you can do it again, please stand up to be recognized. We deeply appreciate those who guided and led us as our board chairs. So please raise your hand if you served in that capacity, and thank you again for your service. While leading as our board chair a few years ago, Brian Onks Jr. used this remarkable and memorable turn of phrase while describing the magnitude of JWB's work and impact. He said, JWB is woven into the fabric of our community. And as I look across the room and as I saw people as I entered the room, what I see in all of you are those threads that together are woven to work to strengthen the lives of children and families every day. As a token of our appreciation to board members, past and present, and in keeping with Brian's symbolic theme, we have a woven throw, a blanket, for each of you with a note that reads, JWB is woven into the fabric of our community to strengthen the lives of children and families. Thank you for being one of the threads. So board members, past, present, and family members of, please stop by our table in the back to receive your blanket that honors you for being one of those threads that creates this amazing fabric. Before we moved on to our 2 award presentations today, I want to recognize the family of the late JWB Deputy Director, Dr. H. Browning Spence. Would his wife, Mary Catherine Spence, and his son, Matt Spence, please stand to be recognized? The H. Browning Spence Education Award was created to help support area youth who are exiting out of foster care or who are homeless by granting monetary awards to help further their education. The program was established in 2010 in honor of Dr. H. Browning Spence, who cared deeply for the well-being of all of Pinellas County children, especially those in the local foster care system. We are currently taking steps to refresh the program in light of it being 2022, and we'll be announcing a call for nominations in time for the 2022 fall semester and be back with an award presentation at our luncheon next spring. As a special surprise today for the family, we invited past Spence Education Award recipients to attend today, all of whom were nominated by Ready for Life. They are Terry Yant, who was a recipient in 2015, Kevin Johnson, who received the Education Award in 2018, and Shirobia Davis, awarded in 2017. Just to share a little bit about one past winner, Ms. Davis is passionate about the sciences and has shared her love of learning by creating opportunities for kids to discover their inner scientist. With her husband Marquis by her side, she will be hosting a pop-up STEM workshop in Campbell Park later this month, as well as a youth science competition this summer. Ms. Davis completed her associate's degree in 2019, is finishing her lab specialist certificate at St. Petersburg College, and plans to pursue a bachelor's degree in biology as she works towards her goal of becoming a pathologist. Ms. Davis has been featured in local news stories, is a passionate advocate for STEM education, and is an inspiring role model for our next generation. So please join me in a round of applause for Shirobia Davis. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to welcome former JWB Board Chair Tom Moriarty to the stage. Tom was instrumental in the inception of the Kids First Cooperman Bogue Awards and has never missed an awards luncheon in the past 26 years where awardees were honored. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Beth. Good afternoon. I'm thrilled to be here today for the 26th annual presentation of the Kids First Cooperman Bogue Awards. To prepare for today's celebration, we dug up some of JWB's archived documents dating back to 1992. That was the year this award recognition program was first proposed to the board during my term as JWB Board Chair. Since its inception, 112 outstanding human service professionals have received this award. If you are a Kids First Cooperman Bogue winner, past or present, please stand to be recognized. Even with all the time that has passed and all the changes in board composition, CEOs and staff at JWB, the intent of this award has remained the same. I thought you'd be interested in hearing a quote from the original proposal back in 1992. The purpose of the Cooperman Bogue Award is to recognize human service workers in Pinellas County who consistently go the extra mile, take on the extra load, extend a third and fourth helping hand, and otherwise exemplify the belief that human needs require the human touch, and that this human touch goes beyond the confines of a neat office or routine workday. These are words and phrases that still ring true today for those who have won this award. As you meet this year's winners in a few moments and get to know past winners around the room, you'll see individuals who embody these principles and exude the human touch. Last year, I understand the JWB board voted to temporarily redesign the program in light of the pandemic and Herculean efforts of our funded agencies and community partners. Instead of giving 4 quarterly awards and 1 annual award, they honored a dozen social service professionals who went over and above to ensure the needs of our county's children and families were met during COVID, and who worked tirelessly to always put kids first. They each shine in their own way, shaping the futures of children and strengthening their lives. Let's hear from all of them now. Please roll the video.
Now more than ever, those who give children brighter futures deserve recognition. And the Juvenile Welfare Board is honoring individuals who consistently go above and beyond to put kids first. JWB was created in 1946, at a time when few alternatives existed for dependent and delinquent children other than adult jail. There were also no social workers in our county at the time. And one of JWB's very first actions as a newly formed board was to hire Nanabelle Dom, a caseworker who primarily served troubled girls. We recognized then, as we do today, that it's the highly trained, boots-on-the-ground social service professionals who are the ones making a real difference in the lives of children and families. And nothing underscores their value and the essential nature of their work like a pandemic. Recognizing this, the JWB board expanded our Kids First Awards program from 4 quarterly winners annually to a dozen awardees last year. A group of selfless individuals who consistently place the needs of others ahead of their own and work tirelessly to always put children first.
When I got the Kid First Award, I felt overwhelmed. I felt full of joy, like, wow, this is all for me. Just seeing the people meant a lot because they have been part of this journey.
It was special because I was able to be recognized for the work that I do for the kids.
To be named a Kids First winner, it's a great responsibility. It's now on a certificate and made real out loud. Some families have made me feel so good. But then when you're recognized for it, it was a very emotional moment.
I think that it represents the importance of the work that all of us at school, social workers, do, and it highlights the significant roles that we play in the lives of the children that we work with and their families. I really just consider myself to be a very fortunate representative of all of school social workers.
I was just filled with so many emotions that I can't even describe how it made me feel to be recognized. I cried. It was indescribable.
I was really surprised. Here I am getting an award. Boy, that's something.
My mom, who has since passed, she worked with children her whole life, and so I followed in her footsteps. To be able to be recognized is like the highest honor I could ever imagine. My mom would be proud of me, and so that makes me so proud of my work.
Being a Kids First winner, a dream come true. It just made me feel like the last 27 years has been worth it.
Every day I get to make a difference in a kid's life. The fact that they have learned to trust, and that's what gets me out of bed, is knowing that I'm hopefully making a difference in someone's little world.
I've always felt that working with dads has been my calling. Growing up without a father, I experienced some of the issues associated with not having a dad involved in your life. I'd always said that I wanted to be a father, but also to help the other fathers in the community. It's not a job for me, it's a calling.
One of the families that I worked with, the mom actually put me in her phone as my angel. That's how she felt, because I truly helped her.
Hope is very important. And if you can instill hope in someone, that is another huge compliment. When someone tells me, I feel hopeful.
I spent 20 years working in the Department of Corrections, and I am absolutely certain that a lot of those fellows I dealt with wouldn't be there if they had somebody like me in their life somewhere along the line. I'd like to do everything I can to prevent as many of these young boys from ending up in that place. Aside from my own kids, I think it's about the most important job I've ever had.
What inspires me is my faith, knowing that I have a purpose in this world, and knowing that the kids need someone that's going to push them to the next level.
Is honestly a gift, and I feel like I need to use that gift, so I really couldn't imagine myself doing anything else.
The work that I do motivates me to wake up every morning to change people's lives.
The kids I work with are the greatest thing ever. That's what I love the most about my job. Right when I set my foot on campus and when I'm greeted by those children, they excite me. They bring me joy every day. Their resilience and determination inspires me every single day.
I want to leave my fingerprints. And what better way to do that than to strengthen, protect, and restore lives? That motivates me.
The parents, I tell them all the time, it's a privilege to take care of their kids. It's an honor that they trust us, and I don't take it lightly at all.
I've been referred to as the father of father services. It's a great compliment. It's been my belief for a very long time that children need fathers and fathers need children. When I go into the home, the excitement of having them run to the front door is very fulfilling.
For 6 years, I've been the fetal and infant mortality review coordinator. I feel really good making this person happy about whatever it is that I'm doing for them. That is part of my work. It's like, wow, that's when I'm like, I really like this.
I do know they call me Grandma Cross, and I really love it. I have one grandchild, but now I have a lot of them. Wyatt, he's the one with the superhero talent. He would show me what he was good at, which was all of these here fantastic superheroes, and I'd show him what I was good at. He thought it was pretty neat the way I did my thing, and I felt the same way about his. And that's what we basically have done since we've been talking to each other. He's a good kid.
Some of the most touching moments where a child brings you a card to thank you. Parents who tell me that they're seeing growth in their child based on our interventions. That's the good stuff.
I had a client, she had nowhere to go, no money. She found herself homeless. She was very distraught, but we were able to find her housing. There were tears of joy. That's my paycheck. That right there, tears of joy.
They always say if you're doing what you love to do, you're not working. And I'm literally doing what I love to do. But I've learned that the three P's, passion, patience, and perseverance. You have to have the passion to want to do it. That helps you with your patience. And then when it gets hard, you got to persevere. And remember the first two, passion and patience.
When my children had grown, I went back to school myself to get my degree. You have to take a foreign language, and I thought, well, I'll take American Sign Language. I was familiar with it. My cousin's deaf. While I wasn't fluent, I knew the manual alphabet, and I was willing to learn the rest. After I got my degree, the Family Center on Deafness was offering a full-time position. 8 years later, here I am, still working in the deaf community, loving it.
I was in shock when my client called me and told me the sheriffs were at her door telling her that she had to leave her home. She was doing everything in her power to be able to stay. It was probably an hour of time that we had to get everything in order for her to be able to stay with her children. I just had to get it done. I guess that's where me being relentless comes in.
The time that I helped a family who was living on the street, getting that family stable housing, and then the mom employed, is now just doing really well. That makes me love doing what I do.
My favorite saying is, you can't put an old head on young shoulders. It means that when you see someone young making a mistake, forgive them because their mind isn't as developed as yours. Therefore, they're going to make mistakes.
I like them to remember me as someone who was there to help, someone who tried to show them a whole new world they might not have known about. When I was growing up like them, every time we went to the beach, when I see a ship sail out over the horizon, I always wanted to be on that ship going over that horizon. I would like to think that I inspired some of these kids to do just that.
I would like to be remembered like the person that really enjoyed helping people in whatever way. It could be a small way, big way.
I would like to be remembered for always being kind. I think kindness is huge, especially in today's world, just giving that hope and encouragement, being there for somebody and just making that difference.
Any student, anybody that I've encountered, I have their back no matter what.
One thing that I do take away from working with kids is that I'm going to be a pretty awesome parent. I'll be able to relate and discuss it with my own kids.
Helping people to know their value and for my compassion and advocacy.
Just a servant leader. Someone that truly loves her community, her kids, and will go above and beyond just to make sure that that person is smiling or happy.
That the work that I've done over the years has perhaps inspired somebody to go on to help somebody else that needs it. Just everybody pass it forward and all be really decent humans to each other.
My legacy is to pass on, know what your purpose is, make a difference, serve.
She cared. She came, she cared, she loved us.
We celebrate and lift up our 2021 Kids First winners. A dozen social service professionals who are unsung heroes in our community. Superheroes with caring hearts, giving hope to families. And always putting kids first.
Terrific group of people, aren't they? At this time, we would like to spotlight each winner and their work and impact. As I announce your name, please stand at your seat, and as we shine a light on the work that you do for kids. Stay standing while a JWB staff member delivers your award to your table. Now, our 2021 Kids First Award winners. The first winner is China Cade with Directions for Living. China exudes a child-focused approach in her role with the Treatment Words program, helping prepare children to re-enter school. When 7-year-old Jacob started, he was very timid due to serious trauma. China helped him become more vocal, confident, and happier after treatment. Cynthia Smith, Suncoast Center. As a family caseworker, Cynthia works to rapidly access, navigate, and prioritize families' needs. She inspires others with her get the job done attitude. However, it is her caring nature that absolutely makes the difference for the families she serves. Dina McKenna, Pinellas County Schools. Dina is a school social worker who helps integrate children with anxiety and other mental health needs back into the school setting. Dina's primary focus is always the child. She advocates for their well-being on a daily basis and forms trusting relationships with their parents, and she is everyone's cheerleader. Ernest Cross, Seniors in Service of Tampa Bay. Where is he? Is he here? Ernest is a foster grandparent volunteer, affectionately known as Grandpa Cross. He tutors and mentors Pinellas County students to help build literacy and social and emotional skills. In his work with students, Ernest finds unique ways to engage and earn their trust, to include bonding over a love of drawing. Frida Dixon, City of Clearwater. Frida is a recreation coordinator who oversees after-school and summer programming at Ross Norton Recreation Center. She is the motivating force that keeps programs running smoothly, and her name, Frida, literally spells out her value: friendly, resilient, empathic, determined, and all heart. Maura Keene, Gulf Coast Jewish Family and Community Services. Maura started as a family navigator with JWB's Family Services Initiative and recently transitioned to a new role as FSI Truancy Liaison. Maura is a resource guru who empowers families to take accountability for their children's education and achieve stability, and whose work is woven into the fabric of each story that helps families write, that she helps families write. Thank you. Michelle Schaefer, Healthy Start Coalition of Pinellas. In her role with the Fetal Infant Mortality Review Committee, Michelle reviews infant death cases, shares findings, and coordinates action steps. Michelle is a tireless champion for infant safety sleep and responds 24/7 to help provide free pack and plays so babies sleep safely. Nanette Friend, Family Centers on Deafness. Nanette serves as a youth and family support specialist for students who are deaf or hard of hearing. Nanette delivers academic and enrichment programs and serves as a bridge between the schools and her families. She is tenacious, thinks outside the box, and refuses to give up. Thank you, Annette. Next is New Win with Lehman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center. New is a youth worker who serves kids in after-school and summer programming. New has grown up at the center, starting in kindergarten and now serving other youth who respect and look up to him. In New's own words, his work and experience will make me a good father one day. New, we couldn't agree more. Olivia Barkley, PEMS and Homeless Leadership Alliance. Olivia is a former PEMS navigator who continues to passionately serve families in her new role with the Homeless Leadership Alliance. Olivia's ability to build a family's strength and gain their trust is unmatched. From juveniles in the program to their parents or grandparents who are raising them. Reginald Randolph, Florida Department of Health in Pinellas. Known as the father of father services, Reggie specializes in serving dads and giving them a voice in program services. Reggie started the first Father Services program 23 years ago, which led to a focus on dads within the health department's Pinellas Healthy Families program. Tiffany Brown with Pinellas County Multicultural Young Life. Tiffany has been with Young Life for 5 years, mentoring, leading, and guiding youth who reside in the Ridgecrest community. She is described as a kid magnet who leads by example, forms strong relationships, and has built trust with her community and with her public school partners. Tiffany isn't with us today because she had a prior work-related commitment on the other coast, but her Young Life nominator, Phyllis Tate, and others are here to cheer her on and accept the award on her behalf. Okay, one more round of applause for all 12 of our outstanding 2021 Kid First Award winners. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite JWB Board Chair Mike McCurrick back to the podium to continue with some additional awards. Thank you.
Okay, so I thought about this, and as for most of you who know me, you know I don't always follow the rules, and I'll ask forgiveness afterwards. So Beth, just in case, I'll ask forgiveness afterwards. But I realized that during this whole listening to everyone and all the comments and questions and things that have gone on, that JWB has been there for 75 years, quietly moving forward, quietly supporting the children of our communities. That's for 74 years. And if you remember, I accidentally mispronounced Judge Gross's last name, and I said Grace. And I wondered, why would I have done that? And I realized it was more of a Floridian slip. Because through the grace of God and some help from Judge Gross and his wife, they brought us Becky. And with Becky and the team, the JWB staff and JWB leadership, we have now turned the corner from being that quiet organization of 74 years, providing high quality and valued service to our children, to now even a more stronger, a more focused, and a more visible organization, providing high quality and even more valuable services you'll see from our strategic plan as we moved forward. Our 0 to 3 programs, our continued educational programs, all of which are stepping up. So I guess it wasn't really a mistake. It was really a thank you to Judge Gross, and thank you to God, because if those of you who know Becca or haven't met her yet, you will. She is tenacious. She takes no prisoners, and she never says no. And you can prove that by the fact that this year, not only did we receive a commendation from the Florida House, and then from the Florida Senate, and then as you just heard this morning from our CEO, we've received from the U.S. Congress a commendation for the work that you have all done. So please give yourself a major applause for that work and that recognition. So we're not stopping there. We've now come to a very special part of today's program, which is again a first, the inaugural Dillinger McCabe Leadership Award. Retired Pinellas Pasco public defender Bob Dillinger made his life's work to fighting childhood hunger and to lifting those up struggling with mental illness, and advocates for the underserved. Last December, Bob retired from public office, completing 20 years, a 20-year term with the JWB board. In honor of his retirement, we produced a video, and we'd like to show you some excerpts of that video now.
When the Juvenile Welfare Board was created 75 years ago, it was to do exactly what Bob has spent his entire career doing. He gives a voice to the voiceless, and he serves the underserved.
I got a call from then State Senator Jack Latvala saying Bob Dillinger wanted to be on the Juvenile Welfare Board, but Jack wasn't going to put Bob on unless I agreed to go on. And it's been a rewarding experience. And I think through Bob's leadership, we have made a difference in the community, and I think the board continues to do that.
I was fortunate enough to meet Mr. Dillinger right after he was elected as the public defender. When Mr. Dillinger came in, he did rebrand that we are the hope. He became the hope for a lot of the underserved in the Sixth Circuit, because the epitome of being the hope is serving the clients outside of the courtroom, and that's what he did.
I met Mr. Dillinger when I first came to Pinellas County as superintendent in 2012. It was really his relentless drive to end chronic childhood hunger and really his love and desire to help children. Bob's Nourish to Flourish program that provides weekend meals began in 2012, and it was distributing 10 meals per week. Now, Nourish to Flourish supports 22 schools and provides food for over 1,200 students per week.
I was CEO at the St. Petersburg Free Clinic. As I thought about who to invite to be a really inspirational speaker to our Hunger Free event, anywhere Bob could go and speak about hungry children, he was there. And there was not a dry eye in the house that inspired all of us. And within a few years, the St. Pete Free Clinic was serving 1,000 kids every week. And that never would have happened without Bob.
Bob and Kay started a wonderful program at Pace called Best Closet. They celebrate education, young women, and of course they celebrate best life.
I particularly think of him as a true humanitarian, a champion for those who were downtrodden. His hope is for people who at times are hopeless.
I think as we age, we leave our fingerprint, so to speak, on a community. One would look at Bob Dillinger as saying, boy, he's left a major legacy.
When we start talking about the problem of no school lunch because the schools are closed, he gets very emotional about it. So you know he's serious. That, I think, is his legacy.
I think Bob's greatest legacy is that wherever he was, Bob always was there as the voice of children.
He wanted to make sure that each child was properly fed, that they went to bed with a full stomach, that their homes were safe, that they got top-notch education.
If I were giving Bob a Lifetime Achievement Award, I think I would say passionate and determined.
Kind, giving, loving.
I would say, in big letters, you made a difference.
I'd use the words passionate, sensitive, caring, knowledgeable, and speaking with conviction.
Advocate extraordinaire. That's Bob Dillinger.
Thank you for causing me to be put on this board, because it's helped me in my job immeasurably, and I hope that the contributions we have made together have been valuable.
Bob, you can never say thank you enough. On behalf of some of the most vulnerable students in our population, we thank you.
On behalf of all of us who are associated with Juvenile Welfare Board, thank you for 20 years of service to the children of Pinellas County.
Then in January 2021, the Juvenile Welfare Board mourned the untimely loss of a long-standing board member and former Pinellas Pasco State Attorney, Bernie McCabe. During his 20 years of service, Bernie was a cornerstone of the JWB and long-serving chair of the Finance Committee. A legend in the legal community, he was steadfast in his commitment to always do what was best for children. His litmus test was always, is it good for the kids? As a tribute to this larger-than-life man and to honor his legacy, we produced a video and premiered it at the JWB board meeting last March. Here's an excerpt.
We knew each other for quite a while. There was an issue coming up before the Juvenile Welfare Board, and that got Bernie's attention, and that got Senator Latvalla's attention. So I called Bernie and I go, would you be willing to be on the board? Because Senator Latvalla made it pretty clear that if Bernie didn't want to do it, Senator Latvala wasn't going to do it. And Bernie said, yeah, I'll do it. When things were rough, he would turn to me and go, Dillinger, you're the one that got me into this. And I would go, no, Bernie, you agreed to get into this. And it would go somewhat like that.
I can't remember a time in my life where I didn't know who Bernie McCabe was. He was such a larger-than-life figure. As I got to know him and got to serve with him, I realized what a big teddy bear he really is, and really the heart of a public servant.
He was bigger than life in a lot of things to me, but what I did learn from being on the board is that he really did care about the community, that he was very much invested in his role as a member of the Juvenile Welfare Board.
What he cared about was that he was going to do what was best for the children of our community.
I always knew his heart was in the right place, but that he had such a fine mind that would help me sort out any situation.
Caring about the kids, their future, their education, being in favor of rehabilitation of these children, such as the civil citation program and programs for juveniles who were charged with a sex offense so they could get some counseling.
I think that he actually cared and took pride in the job that he did as the state attorney, but also I think he took even greater pride as being a member of the Juvenile Welfare Board to make sure that we were accountable as the keeper of the funds for the citizens of Pinellas County.
When we talk about measurable outcomes, we didn't have anything like that when it started.
Bernie McCabe kept us all accountable at the Juvenile Welfare Board. His timeless refrain was, we need to do what's right for kids.
Is this good for the kids? And a lot of that has to do with making sure the dollars were actually going to the children and to their development.
The change from 20 years ago to today is incredible. Bernie would always feel very proud that the board and the staff working together.
For children specifically, Bernie's legacy is going to be a firm foundation. He was very passionate about early childhood development and early childhood learning.
Bernie McCabe had a big heart for kids, and it was all about putting children first. And he worked so well with our long-standing public defender, Bob Dillinger. They worked together to have the best result for kids, and they supported the best programs for kids.
And he wanted the youth that did not have the same advantages that other youth in this community have. That's how I'll remember him, that he wanted to help youth succeed.
He genuinely cared about the children. He genuinely cared about the families. His memory will go down is that he was an advocate for all the families in Pinellas County.
I think I'll miss most the fact that I could always give him a call and run a tricky issue by him, and he would give me his honest and helpful answer.
His stick-to-itiveness and his conviction that no stone would get unturned, no one left behind, no child would go without a voice.
I still miss him. We lost an advocate for the youth. I still think about calling him about things, and it becomes really, the pain really sinks in when you realize he's not there. I miss my friend. So it's like I always tear up at these things, and he always said, Dillinger, why are you so emotional? You know, I go, sorry, Bernie, I can't help it. He goes, but I know it's because you care. And that meant a lot.
Both men were formidable leaders on the JWB, and our dedication to Pinellas County children is unparalleled. While they didn't always agree, they found common ground when it came to children. Feeling the weight of this loss of these two exceptional leaders, our JWB board felt the need to do something more to memorialize their decades of service. These fierce advocates inspired us to create the Dillinger-McCabe Putting Children First Leadership Award, to be presented annually to a well-established leader and champion for Pinellas County children, an individual who emulated the characteristics of Bob Dillinger and Bernie McCabe in leadership, in driving system change for Pinellas County children and families, specifically related to prevention, in excellence to ensuring children have the equitable opportunity to fulfill their potential and achieve meaningful and positive lives, in advocacy and compassion for putting children first, especially those underserved communities, and in dedication and determination in improving the lives of Pinellas County children and their families. I had the distinct pleasure of serving on the selection committee, and I can tell you that it was a difficult task. We received dozens of nominations detailing remarkable work of Pinellas County leaders. And the excellent news is this: we have an army of caring, committed, and compassionate individuals leading the way to shape the future of our children. Several nominees are with us today, and we thank you for being part of our inaugural award program. And at that note is a heartfelt thanks to members of the selection committee: JWB past chair Susan Ralston, former board chair Dr. Jim Sewell, Mrs. Denise McCabe, and the Honorable Bob Dillinger. At this time, I would like to invite Denise and Bob to join me for the award presentation and to share a few words about what the award means to them and their families.
Thank you, Mike. Bernie was passionate and caring about the welfare of children and about wringing the most out of every dollar available to help them be the best that they could, to improve their lives, and to always do what was right and best for them. I want to thank Bob Dillinger for getting Bernie involved on the Juvenile Welfare Board. Bernie just loved it. Bob has worked tirelessly and done so much for the needy children and challenged populations of Pinellas County, our community. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much to the Juvenile Welfare Board for all you do to save the lives of today's at-risk children so that they can become tomorrow's happy and productive adults. What a job you do in our community. Thank you so much, JWB. I want to finally thank Beth Houghton, I'm sorry, Beth, and the board for creating this award. And thank you, April Pugelo, for putting all of this together. Thank you. Our family is truly honored. Bernie would be very honored too, and he would also be shocked. Thank you, Bob.
I am honored and humbled to have this award named after me and my friend Bernie. I think we made a difference for the children of this community, and I thank you for letting us do that for 20 years. I also hope you understand the emotional impact that this has had today on Denise McCabe, and that we all continue to support her in times of need. And again, I thank you for the honor of being associated with the Dillinger McCabe Award. Thank you.
Denise and Bob, please stay here with me. As now we move on to the award itself. The winner of this award truly sees the potential of every child. She focuses on helping children reach their dreams while providing a framework for them to grow from their mistakes. She seeks out opportunities and experience service through the eyes of a child, and in order to make system improvements. She gives them a voice, makes them feel special, and listens with her heart. She understands the importance of building lasting relationships and trust. The winner of this award tirelessly advocates for children, families, and serves on countless boards, commissions, and foundations. But she's never too busy to attend a PACE graduation so she can personally congratulate the girls. She's known for her thought-provoking ideas on rehabilitation and for her pizza with the judge and Girls Mission Possible, AKA Girls Court. Retirement did not slow her down. You know, saying the one door closes. Through retirement from the bench, she remained active in the gardening item program and has written several books advocating for children and demonstrating compassion for their struggle. The systems improvements she's brought about are legendary. And however, it is the impact of her efforts that have on the vulnerable among us that she will be remembered for. The winner of this award has taught us three important things during her illustrious career. First, that kids are not bad. That all kids need love, nurturing, and most importantly, hope in their lives. And that single caring adults can make a big difference in the lives of the most hardened child. She epitomizes this philosophy in every day of her life, and she, being the single caring adult in the lives of so many children, she has made a difference. This next statement was really what caught, I believe, us and the selection committee, that her nominator shared, and I quote, "Maybe once or twice in a lifetime, if we're lucky, we meet someone whose light shines a little brighter than most. She is one of those individuals whose lights for children just glows and glows." By now, I think many of you have guessed the name of our first Dillinger McCabe Leadership Award, and she has certainly set the bar high for those who follow. She has certainly set that bar high, and it is our extreme privilege to name her first Leadership Award recipient. It is fitting that for the JWB 75th anniversary celebration that we have such an iconic individual named as our first Leadership Award recipient. So join me, please, in a robust round of applause and cheers as we invite the Honorable Irene Sullivan to the stage to receive the first Dillinger McCabe Putting Children First Leadership Award.
Well, thank you so much, all of you out there. Your applause, just looking at you in this beautiful facility, and to Denise and to Bob, to Mike, the whole JWB board. I couldn't be more honored. This is the most spectacular thing that's ever happened, really, because Bernie and Bob were heroes to me even before I became a judge, because I respected them so much as a lawyer in their positions. And then when I became a juvenile judge, and we worked together so often for the best interest of the kids, and I saw their cooperation together, Bernie and Bob. Even though they had totally different roles, they were a team, and they helped us do really good things for kids. We couldn't have done it without them. So I thank you so much to everyone out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm humbled and honored. Thank you.
We have a special award, and our congratulations to Judge Sullivan. We thought long and hard as to the most appropriate remembrance of this award. Like you, we knew it had to be something unique, something that reflects our vibrant Pinellas County and all the wonderful children we serve. Denise?
It had to be something that would bring joy and remind us all of the extraordinary power that an individual possesses to serve, to lead, and to make a difference. A local artist, Kathy Taylor Zimmerman, was selected to create something symbolic, something memorable for this occasion. It was a surprise to me that she was someone I have worked with, the pleasure and the honor to work with in the past. Bob?
That's so beautiful.
It is. This original piece by Kathy Taylor Zimmerman is titled Putting Children First. Exactly what you have done your entire career, Irene. Congratulations.
Thank you again. That's simply gorgeous. And again, I thank you all so much for this wonderful award. It means so much to me, so much. Thank you.
You know, what a privilege it's been to be part of this inaugural award and to be able to give it to one who is so important to receive it. She is the epitome of what both Bob and Bernie did for our children and will continue to do for children in the future. At this time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Patrice Moore, JWB Vice Chair, to the stage and to give the closing remarks.
Good afternoon. As we close today's 75th anniversary event, I want to remind everyone why the Juvenile Welfare Board exists, and that's to guard the rights and needs of our children. I've come to learn that they really are our children, regardless of what household they're brought up in. And so I want to thank you for all that you do. Just as we had courageous leaders in the 1940s who understood the importance of investing in children, we have courageous leaders today, as evidenced in the woman in which received the Dillinger, McKay inaugural award, and that's Judge Irene Sullivan. I had the privilege and honor of taking her seat as she retired, and they have been some big shoes to fill. And to her, I say thank you for the legacy that you left, and hopefully I will leave it as you left it. Let's give another shout out to our Kids First awardees who courageously and consistently put children first. Thank you for all that you do. Because of what you do, sometimes I don't get to see the families that you've helped and you've touched, and I want to take a point of privilege, and I'm sorry, Ms. Beth. I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Reggie Randolph. Thank you for the work that you're doing with our ECC court and for the men that you're serving. As we look to the next generation of champions for children, we urge you to stay engaged with JWB. In your programs and around the room, you should see signage where you'll see a QR code in which you can go to our website and find ways to be engaged. A special thanks to the JWB staff and team who organized the event. If you guys would stand so that we can give you a round of applause. And as a reminder to our honorary host, current and former JWB board members, remember to pick up your small tokens on the back table. JWB is truly woven in the fabric of our community. Thank you all for being the threads. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you next year.